what is the question asking us for 5? What's like the first, what we have to learn how to read questions. What does the question say for us to do? Decide if it's a function. So next to this graph, we're going to write the word function. And we have to decide whether or not we think that this line, right, is a function. What do we think?
It is.
Dominic's saying yes. We have to think back though. What does it mean to be a function? We just wrote that down. Has one output. Yeah. Does every input here, remember X's are inputs. Does every input have an output? Just one output? I think so. This is definitely a function. Remember, we had a big hint. We said all lines are functions, except for one type of line. What was the one type of line that wasn't a function?
Vertical line.
The vertical line. If you have a vertical line, hint, hint, hint on the back page. Vertical lines don't work. If it's vertical, going straight up and down, it ain't gonna work. All right, cool. That's our function. Now let's do domain. We want to find the domain of this graph. Remember, domain is all of the inputs, the set of all possible inputs. We wrote this down earlier here. I'm going to show you the set of all possible inputs, and then I wrote X. So what represents the X on this graph? Is it the horizontal numbers or the vertical numbers? The horizontal. So we remember last class we said, okay, how far left does the graph go? How far right does the graph go? Let's start with the right side. Where's the stopping point for this graph? It stops here at 8?
It stops at -8.
Oh, you're saying it goes to -8 all the way to positive 8?
Yes.
This is not going to go past -8? Huh? She's saying it doesn't stop. How do I know that this line doesn't stop?
The arrows.
The arrows, they got arrows there. That means this is going to go on forever past my room, over to house 3, house 2, all the way to Brentwood, Oakley. I don't know anything past that. I don't travel too much. Right? That's going to go on forever to what? What number is it approaching? Infinity. So when we do our notation, right, let's do the right side first. We're going to write the infinity symbol and we put parentheses. Because we can't actually get to infinity, but it's going to try its best. On this left side, it's going. Look, these negative numbers are getting bigger. So it's approaching what? Oh, but not positive infinity. Negative infinity. Oh my gosh, y'all are killing it today. Go ahead and write negative infinity. That is the domain. Every number here works. Every number works. Earlier, Bridget said all real numbers for another answer. You could write all real numbers too. That would also work as well. That is awesome. Okay, let's do our range real quick. Range is going for our Y values. So let's think. Domain was left and right. Range is probably up and down. So let's do the down one first. How low does this graph go? What's the stopping point? What's its lowest value? It don't have one because it's going down to infinity? Negative infinity. Okay, there we go. So look, the range is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. You know what, guys? Sometimes you're going to have a function where the domain and range is the same. It's that way when you have a line. A straight line, always going to be negative infinity to infinity. That is really good. And if you want to add a little set of notes here, remember, because this is your notes that you can use on the test. Let's add a little left and right arrow underneath domain. For range, let's do an up and down arrow. So you can understand domain is left and right, range is up and down. I like domain is your inputs, range is your outputs. That is super, super good.